Well, by age 20, there was a warrant out for your arrest over a drug charge. So were you kind of dabbling in drug dealing around this time?
Yeah, I was that. Well, actually, no, I wasn't dabbling in drug dealing. I still was doing my rap thing, and I was writing. So I was sitting in the car one night with Cheedy and Flip. These was my friends. So I was sitting in the car one night, and I thought it was a hit. So we thought it was a hit because the cops ran up on the car, and they was like, "Lay that shit down." And so my friend Cheedy pushed me out the car. And they take off running, and I take off running, and I don't know why. Every time I run from the cops, I fall. So I falls and shit, and all the drugs that they found, they put them on me. So they locked me up. They took Cheedy car. Cheedy goes back down to the impound and take the car back. Yeah, so they locked me up, and they charged me with that, and I just stopped going to court. After he bailed me out, I stopped going to court. So that lingered over into them taking me down for them holding me in jail for a murder thing. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. So you were being held in jail for murder?
They kept saying that I was out there. So this happened in 2006 though. They kept saying that I was out there for somebody had got killed, and they kept saying that I was out there. They kept saying that I had something to do with it. And I'm like, I ain't had nothing to do with it. So when they brought me in for questioning, they kept me because I had a warrant. So, you know, the warrant can hold you in jail if the judge say it was a judge-only warrant. So the warrant held me in jail, and they held me in jail until the trial was over.
Okay, so you had to go to a murder trial?
Yeah.
I assume you beat it.
Not me as charged with a murder. But they kept trying to say that I was out there.
Oh, you witnessed it?
Yeah, that's what they trying to say, that I witnessed it. But I told them I wasn't out there. But they still brought me to court.
Okay, so what ultimately happened in that whole trial? Did the actual shooter get convicted, or did they find the shooter?
Yeah, they convicted innocent people, though. They convicted some innocent people. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Did you know the guys who got convicted?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so by 2001, you're like around 21 years old. You start to drive, and then you start getting into stolen cars.
Yeah, I started buying cars. So my first car was a Navigator that I bought, and I drove it for like a month. That was my first one. But this before I even got into the car game. So I finally learned how to drive, so I got a stolen car. So now I already knew who was taking the cars. So now I'm getting the cars and stuff. Me and my homie was like getting them for like $100 or $200 and just riding around in them.
Okay, but how does that lead into you actually selling stolen cars?
So after I got out of jail in 2006, I ran into my homie at the mall. And when I ran into him, I was like, hey, I need a car to drive. And he needed promotion for MySpace because my MySpace was popping. So he wanted me to promote one of his songs that he just did on my MySpace. So I'm like, all right, get me a car. I wanted an Audi TT. I'm like, all right, get me a car and I'll promote your song. So he like, all right. So the next day around 9 o'clock in the morning, he come and get me. And he like, all right, we're going to go take this car. So we went up to, I think it was Allentown or somewhere up there. And when we got there, he had 2 sets of keys. I didn't know I was coming to take no car too, but he had 2 sets of keys to 2 Chrysler 300s. So this 2006, and these was 2007 Chrysler 300s or something like that. So we get on the car lot, and he like, all right, you take one, and I'm gonna take one. And I'm just standing there because I was gonna take it, but then I froze up. So he drove off the lot. I got the fuck off the lot. I ran back off the lot and got in his car and followed him back down to the city. And he sold a car for, I think, about $200-300. I can't really remember.
Okay, you're doing Grand Theft Auto for $200?
No, he was doing it. I didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Your man is doing Grand Theft Auto, a
yeah.
serious felony. I mean, the Chrysler 300s is what, maybe about 25, 30,000?
Yeah, back then.
Back then, so this is a major theft for $200?
Yeah. Yeah, but he was taking Porsches and everything. The next day we went, he got me he had got me a 2007 F-150. So that was the payment for the MySpace promotion. So he got me a 2000 F-150. We really went to take a motorhome. I don't know why we was taking a motorhome, or RV, but that's what we went to take. But he got me the F-150. I rode around in this F-150 for like 6 months. Nothing ever happened. I put a truck plate on it, and I just rode around in it. And I was like hustling like little drugs and shit, but it didn't amount to nothing. So I used to go to this hood in Southwest Philly, my hood. I used to go there every day. So one day I went, my homie was like, yo, you want to sell that truck? And I'm like, no, I don't want to sell it. And then I was like, all right, how much can I get? So he made a call and he said $1,500. Now back then, $1,500 was all right, some all right money. So I'm like, damn, I ain't gonna have nothing to drive, but I could probably get some work with this, $1,500. So later on that day, I sell a truck and he takes me to the plug. He takes me to the African guy that handles everything. And I met him and I talked to him and I just asked him like, hey, what you want? And he said Range Rovers. So by the end of that week, I think I got him like 4 Range Rovers.
Okay, so how are you getting these 4 Range Rovers?
So the first Range Rover, we went back up to Allentown and we got it from a service station. It was a white Range Rover and it was being serviced. It could have been an oil change. It could have been anything, but the keys was in it. So I drive my homie up, I park on the lot, I just sit and I watch and he just walk around. And when he walked in the service station, he got in the Range Rover, he gently drove out and I just drove out behind him. And then I just go and sell it.
Well, back then, there's no cameras that are actually monitoring all this.
I'm quite sure it was cameras, but they not sophisticated like they are now. Yeah.
Okay, so someone just leaves their keys in the car, you jump in the car, your man jumps in the car, drive off with it, now you got the car.
Yeah. So I take it back to Southwest.
Okay, but during that time, don't they have tracking devices on some of these cars?
The tracking device didn't matter. None of that shit mattered. The only thing that mattered was that money and getting it from point A to point B. Because once it got from point A to point B, they had people that was going to go up under there and take whatever out.
Aha.